Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 3 has been out for a little bit, and today I wanted to ask the question, how much is everybody enjoying it? I personally have been enjoying it a lot because it's the first season of Fortnite I've ever played. I am getting a ton of nostalgia for it. Honestly, I'm feeling what a lot of people in Season 2 and Season 1 are feeling. I know there's not a lot of changes, but just like going in, landing at Lucky Landing, having that loot pool elevated just a little bit, this was my personal OG Fortnite, so I am excited about it. Well, I'm going to give you my thoughts on OG Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 3, and of course, we're going to take a look at what other people had to say about it as well. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. So, obviously, Chapter 1 Season 3, as I just said, was my first season of Fortnite. It was really fun to go back. I think they've done a good job capturing the OG feel when it comes to the map, the locations. It's one for one. It feels like the same thing. It's funny because you land at all of these POIs, right? And you just remember where all the loot is. You just remember where to go. You just remember your rotations. I don't know about you guys, but I found myself doing like the same rotations that I always did back in the day. And it's like, oh my God, this is like kind of crazy right now. Unfortunately, though, at the time of recording this video, I haven't been able to play a ton of OG Fortnite, just enough to get the feel of it, just to remember landing at Lucky Landing, playing with things like the hand cannon, the hunting rifle. I think the hunting rifle was an OG Season 2, but you get my point. Like, there is a lot more to work with at the loot pool. Something that I have not run into yet was the guided missile, so I can't comment on that, but I already know that I'm going to love it. I know it's a little bit weak. I know it never really was that good. I know the players are better now, but the guided missile was one of my favorite weapons ever added to the game. I think that it should be in the loot pool permanently. Just the fact that you can like rocket ride it, just the fact that you can control this like missile going around, I thought was really fun. Sometimes with seasons, for me personally, I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, weapons, like particular weapons that I can pick up throughout the game, really elevate my experience. Like one thing, like I keep pointing back to, the Falcon Scale, the Gravitron. Sometimes there's just one thing that makes me have that extra little bit of fun each time I play. The guided missile is one of them. So I know that there isn't really a ton of a difference between Chapter 1 Season 2 and Chapter 1 Season 3, but I think it's enough of a difference in the loot pool. We have things like the cozy campfires, we have things like the hand cannon, the guided missile, right? And we're going to have progression through all of this, which is really nice. The shooting star is going to come back. I can't wait to re-experience that again. I'm sure I've told this story before, but I'm going to go through the exact same thing. Of course, like I play with more people now than I did. Like I'm talking about like streaming with people, playing with YouTubers that I've gotten to be friends with over the years, offline as well. Like there are more people that I'm playing Fortnite with than I was playing with in the OG days. I'm probably going to go through the same thing, with the exception to those YouTubers who have been like into Fortnite since the very beginning, right? I always went through with this shooting star, and I know I know I mentioned it, okay? My friends could not give two craps about the storyline the entire time that we were playing. I have had friends that I played with every day in Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, every day. They never cared about the storyline. I'm like, how could you be so obsessed with this game? Well, not obsessed, but you get the point. How could you play this game so much, enjoy this game, and just happen to not pay attention to the storyline? How could you not care about that shooting star in the sky? I was the only person looking up, like, and back in the day, like, there wasn't like this crazy online community in Season 3, right? I was looking up, I was like, that shooting star wasn't always there. And then we started getting the things where like the shooting star is actually going to come down, or excuse me, the meteor crashes. I can't wait to see clips if they happen to hit somebody too. It's just those like little extra touches that Fortnite adds that really elevates the gameplay. I can't wait to re-experience that, and I already know that I'm gonna go through the same thing. Like, oh my God, the shooting star is back, guys. Look at the shooting star up there, and they're gonna be like, yeah, whatever, Kyle, fuck off. Like, that's what I deal with, and I guarantee you that I'm the only person with a friend group who plays this game who doesn't care about the story. Absolutely no hate though, in case it came off that way. Like, it really is funny to me. Like, I just don't understand how people can't play this game and pay attention at the same time. But now I understand if it's like now you're playing the game and you don't pay attention to the story. I'm talking like back in the day with the map changes, with the trailers in Chapter 2, all of that stuff. But other than that, guys, OG Chapter 1 Season 3 has been really fun so far. The only thing that really is still killing it for me is, and killing, and not how the Fortnite community uses it, I mean like really isn't having Fortnite live up to his potential. Because still, while as much as I like OG Fortnite right now, I still prefer Battle Royale, and I still prefer Fortnite Reload, and I might prefer Ballistic as well, okay? I still love OG Fortnite, but the fact that there's so many bots, the fact that there's still no, I know they're never going to get rid of this, but the fact that there is still skill-based matchmaking in the game really hurts the OG experience for me. It does not feel the same. I am pro Chapter 6 movement, although I am open to you know, not necessarily, I don't know if I'll change my mind on it, but I'm a little bit conflicted in that. Like, if you were to argue to bring back the old movement, I would get that, and I wouldn't really argue too much against you, but ultimately, if I was in charge, I would still have the Chapter 6 movement. I actually found myself playing OG Fortnite, and I didn't find myself frustrated, but I found myself like, oh, I'm trying to do that, I don't know what it's actually called, the jump when you go over a ramp, like the really high jump into the roll. I actually don't know what the mechanic is called, but I've been trying to do that. I didn't realize how much I actually ended up getting used to it. And it's a little bit difficult to readjust for OG because I keep doing that naturally. So maybe it is best to have the movement feel the same throughout all of the modes. I don't really get why if you're willing to bring in all of the later chapter movement, why not just bring in the Chapter 6 movement? Doesn't really make sense to me, but there are still things, and I don't see Epic Games really changing it. We have a little bit of hope with them taking bots out of 50-50. I forgot to talk about 50-50. Wonderful that we're getting LTMs back. Wonderful. I've never really been too big of a fan of 50-50, but I played a couple rounds of it. It was fun. Like, by the way, look out for it. PBJ and I are going to do 50-50 customs moving forward, and I am very excited for that. So look out for some stream announcements over on Discord or X. But honestly, guys, if we can't get these stuff, like, we have to keep bots in the game, we have to keep skill-based matchmaking in the game, and I know that's my personal hiccup. I understand that, like, not everybody, I feel like most people are against bots, but skill-based matchmaking is my own little hiccup because not gonna go into it, okay? I came up from a different time in gaming, and it was better. It was better, and I will stand on that. Other than that, they've done a fantastic job with what they've done with OG Season 3 so far. I hope we can see some more LTMs. I actually really like this mini pass. I was a little bit surprised to see all of the hate towards it. I really like it. I don't like the tier 1 skin, but pretty well everything else, like the cosmetics, the emotes, the skins, everything else to go with it. I pretty well like it all. We also made a reaction video for it if you are interested in that. So it's not just about what I think, of course, guys. As usual, I wanted to take a look at what everybody else thought about the new season. I ended up posting this over on X. How have you been enjoying OG Season 3 so far? Drop any thoughts you have, and I will include some in an upcoming video. Thank you for your time. And guys, if you want to join in on the conversation, follow me over at X, at Clen YouTube, or you can find the links at the top of the description in the link tree, or the direct link to X in the description down below as well. Thank you so much for your time. If you did respond, thank you for your time watching this video. Your time is extremely valuable, and I really, really do, with all of my heart, appreciate you being here, guys. Like and subscribe if you have not already. Let's get into what everybody had to say about OG Season 3. XGamer360 had this to say. It's the last season of growing pains for Fortnite. Season 1 and 2 were kind of just empty and goes to show why the newer seasons were better. Season 3 is when the game finally got into its own shoes, but Season 4 is when Fortnite became Fortnite. Actually, I agree with that. I really, really agree with that. I'm enjoying Season 3 because it's exactly like what I started my original Fortnite journey with, and I would imagine that so many people felt that same way with Seasons 1 and 2, and I didn't feel that. I like the first couple, like, weeks of that we were playing with Chapter 1, Season 1, but other than that, I completely agree with what XGamer said. I don't know if I described it as growing pains for Fortnite, but like right now, I guess you could call it growing pains because it's not the same. We just didn't know any better back in the day, right? But Season 4 and on, yeah, I would argue that it got a lot better. You had the introduction of the Hop Rocks, you had the great LTMs, you had things like Risky Reels was there. There was a lot to really work with, and I hope they bring back the Search 7 chests at Risky Reels. That'll be so funny if that's the case. But there's a lot of great weapons, a lot of great story. The villain lair is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of things coming in Season 4. Season 4 and 5 is when it's really, really, really going to pick up, guys. I am very excited for that. So I agree with what XGamer said, and I like the fact that this is something to get excited about, you know? Apollo had this to say, it's very fun. I really like the lightning charge and it's starting to get good. The loot pool is fun and feels like Season OG level good than the past 2 seasons. Shame it lasts so long though. I'd like to get Season 4 as soon as possible. I actually kind of like that we are going through this slowly. You gotta remember, like, I'm not saying like that Apollo doesn't appreciate it. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you gotta remember, like, there are people who really love Chapter 1 Season 3, and this is the whole point of it. It's like the nostalgia factor to bring people back to re-experience their favorite seasons, to go through Chapter 1 again. If it was going like it originally was, where it's month to month to month to month, I think that's actually too little. I really do. We'd fly through Chapter 1 in no time, and then how long would it take to get, I'm assuming they're going to go through Chapter 2 again as well. Like, that'd be so cool. I hope they end up doing all of that, but I like the fact that we have to sit in these seasons, and every once in a while we're like, all right, new Fortnite OG season, let's go. Like, it's kind of over here while we still have all of the Battle Royale stuff and reload stuff to look at. I like, personally, the rate that it's going right now. Eternal Test had this to say, it's okay. However, I hate the fact that Epic isn't giving us any pre-nerfed versions of items. For example, the guided missile is the Season 5 version that goes way slower, doesn't boost, and does barely any structure damage, takes away a lot of the fun. Yeah, I should have mentioned that as well, but I didn't know that they did that with the guided missile. Oh, actually, now that I read that, I did hear people talking about that. It's just I haven't personally played with the guided missile yet. I really don't like that they do that. I really don't. Like, if you want to play OG Fortnite, what everybody misses, give them the OG Fortnite that they miss. It's crazy that Epic Games has to baby so many people now, because the problem is, if you added the guided missile and it did so much damage, then people are like, oh my god, it's so crazy that you can just control a missile and that it can hit me and that it's just not fair, Epic Games. Epic Games, you need to nerf this. Like, they would be bombarded with this. I still think that Epic Games should never listen to the community, ever. But like I said earlier in the video, I grew up in a completely different time in playing video games. People didn't like moan and whine and cry when they died about things, and then people didn't talk about like, oh my god, the guided missile is literally killing this game. If Epic doesn't do something about the guided missile right now, this game's gonna fall off in a week. Like, that's what you would hear. I don't think, like, I have to say, I want to say like Epic Games has to do that, but they don't have to do that. Just let the quiet people enjoy the game. But the problem is, like, when you have so many people yapping online about how Fortnite's dying and how horrible OG Fortnite is, it'll cause people to not play the game. Like, people just listen to other people's opinions, and I will never understand that, but there's a lot of NPCs in this world. I don't see the guided missile as a big deal. You build a structure. For zero build, yeah, you know what? Then we can talk. I'd be actually completely open to making a bunch of tweaks and changes for zero build, because chapter 1 wasn't made for zero build. I'd be completely open to that. For build mode, for pubs, leave it as is. Leave it completely as is. This is part of the fun. I loved the guided missile. How many great memories did you have with the guided missile back in the day? The attitude of the community has completely changed. I hate when they do that, and this is why I'm not looking forward to the later seasons of chapter 1. I'm really not. I'm worrying more than I'm looking forward to it. We're not going to get the planes in their former glory. We're not going to get everybody fighting for the Infinity Blade like we did. We're not going to get ballers bouncing around and swinging on trees like we did. We're not going to be getting the combat shotgun dominating the meta. We're not going to be getting any rift zones. I really don't believe that. If we get a rift zone, it's going to be like Gotham City. I believe that, and I hope that I'm proven wrong, but I'm so worried about the future of OG Fortnite. But right now, honestly, guys, I'm enjoying it. Sizzo had this to say. Me personally, while I really couldn't care much from the BR side of things, I absolutely love the way they brought 50 versus 50 as well as the guided missile. Those are definitely the highlights for me, especially now that there is text chat and you can talk to all 50 players in your team. I forgot to mention that. We'll touch on that in a second. Epic delivered on exactly what Season 3 originally was, and that's all we could really ask for. While I think the OG pass is a step down from last season's pass, it's definitely not terrible, and I love the new Raven skin. I'm hoping now that moving forward, we see more Battle Pass remakes in the past, rather than this one where they were all item shop skins. I think OG Passes 1 and 2 did it best by having 2 Battle Pass remixes and 1 shop remix from that season. Moving into Season 4, I would personally like to see a remix of The Visitor, Zoe and Oblivion, and also with the addition of 50 versus 50, I hope we continue to see more LTMs added for OG. If we could get 2 LTMs per OG season, I think that would do great for keeping the momentum of OG going. If they do this for Season 4, they really need to bring back the Infinity Gauntlet as well as some other LTMs, maybe like Close Encounters. I agree with pretty well everything that Sizzo said here, except I personally, but I know I'm in the minority, so I mean, it doesn't make the opinion wrong because everybody likes different cosmetics, right? But I am in the minority in saying that I really, really like this OG pass. A lot of people would agree with what Sizzo said, but I love the fact that they brought back 50 versus 50. The game chat, the global game chat, not the global game chat, like the entire game chat is something that should be in every Fortnite lobby. I really believe that. That is one of the greatest things that they've added, and talking to 50 people at a time, I love it. I absolutely love it. I've been having fun with that actually more than I've been having fun with the 50-50 mode, to be honest with you. Sometimes I find myself just roaming the map and just chatting with people. Fantastic addition by Epic Games. I love that you can talk to all 50 players. Moving on to Season 4 though, I agree with Sizzo in talking about the Visitor, Oblivion, and Zoe. Those would be fantastic skins, but especially Oblivion. My first main skin in Chapter 1, I would love to see that, but I think it'd be really cool. Then again, we already have a ton of Oblivion reskins, so maybe they would go with Omega. I don't know, man. Could you imagine they make it ridiculous to get the lights again? That'd be so funny. But what he said about the LTMs, I completely agree with as well. I would love to see 2 LTMs per OG season. It would really keep the momentum going, and I thought that was very well said. But guys, let me stop you for just a second. As you might know with these videos, I have been advertising my supporter creator code. I ask that if you do not have a supporter creator code that you're using in the item shop, you consider using my code Clen in the item shop. I am grinding as hard as I possibly can on YouTube to take care of my family, and you guys have been helping me by supporting me using my code. I can't thank you enough. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, guys. Let's continue on over to what everybody else had to say. ZeroBR had this to say: this is the best that OG mode has been. The more aspects present in Prime Fortnite, like GFX, loot, content, dynamic map, that are added into current OG mode, the better. I've talked about the aspects that make Fortnite extensively, but overall Season 3 is doing good. Also, my games have been harder. That's a good thing. If they remove bots fully, that would be great. Hope the game stays hard. Also, small edit, this season is fire. Other ones were too. It's not the best, but but on all accounts, like season 1 is the best in having hard games though. Yeah, I mean, season 1 was the best in having hard games because they didn't have bots or skill-based matchmaking, and I miss that, dude. But there isn't really anything to add what Zero said in here. I think it's very well said. The more aspects that were present in Prime Fortnite that are available in OG Fortnite, the better that the OG mode will be. Let's continue on to what Emmanuel had to say. Can't say I've been enjoying it. I've played it and I've had fun with it, but after 2 hours of playing, I switched to Chapter 6. The new exotic guns are really fun to play with. I was surprised with them adding 50 versus 50 back, but the mode still has bots, even if it's minimal, like 5 to 10 now. I don't know if this was posted before they removed them, but or maybe they do have 5 to 10 bots. Regardless, I can live with that. I can live with that. I can live with 90 people and I can live with 5 to 10 bots, okay? But that doesn't really matter. I do agree with what Emmanuel said is, I'm still enjoying Chapter 6 more. Fortnite Lawless has been doing a phenomenal job keeping me playing, having those fun weapons, not having them nerfed. I love the baseball bat. I love all of the Lawless loot. This is what makes Fortnite fun, is the wacky, goofy feeling playing with these items, and Lawless has been doing that for me so far. I love the robbery vans, I love the mechanics. I'm enjoying Chapter 6 a lot more than I'm enjoying OG Fortnite right now, but that's not to say that I have been not enjoying OG Fortnite. I just prefer to play Chapter 6. So, I totally get what Emmanuel was saying, okay? Let's continue on to what Sir Rifty had to say. I'm loving it, specifically the 50 versus 50 LTM. It genuinely feels like 2018, and I'm not exaggerating. Also, in general, Season 3 added a lot more interesting stuff to the loot pool, so this is where things have become a lot more fun for OG. That's what I'm feeling about it. The loot pool is a huge step up from Seasons 2 and Seasons 1. I'm very happy to see the entire community loving 50 versus 50. While I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it wasn't necessarily my thing, 50 versus 50. Played a couple games, and that's pretty well good enough for me. The community is so happy with it, and it does feel like 2018 because they took out bots. I don't know what we need to tell Epic Games. I want to know if they know something we don't. Dude, they have higher player counts when there's bots available because it's been since Chapter 2 and people have been hating them since Chapter 2. So it's really nice to see a mode without bots present, okay? Rift Jonesy had this to say, I'm a little bit disappointed. I wish the Battle Pass remixed Battle Pass skins and not item shop skins. We haven't seen skins like the Reaper, Elite Agent, or Classic Space skins get remixed in a long time. It's nice to see old weapons back like the guided missile, but the map changes aren't anything to go crazy for. Lucky Landing is an okay POI, but the OG Season 3 update is just okay in my book. That's totally fair. I do believe, and it's important to note that I think it would have been a better idea for Epic Games to do what Rift Jonesy just said and reskin all of the skins that people really loved about Season 3 OG. I was surprised to see their selection, to be honest with you, but I still like the cosmetics. It doesn't matter to me, but it's understandable for people to be disappointed, especially with what they've done in the previous OG pass, right? For the loot pool, it's phenomenal. We already talked about that. It's been a huge step up, but I understand that there's not a big difference in the map changes from Chapter 1 Season 2 to Chapter 2, or Chapter 1 Season 3, excuse me. I just really like the Chapter 1 map in general and the structure laid out of it, but that's totally fair what he had to say, okay? Spy had this to say. The chaos in 50 vs 50 returning is exactly the type of OG we need back. Season 3 itself is good, but it's really the prelude for what comes until those next meteor fragments start dropping, and I need that meteor on the ground now. Yep, I'm so excited to see that again, and I'm happy that people get to experience it that weren't around. It's really cool that we're like going through all of this again, eh? But yeah, the chaos in 50 vs 50 returning is exactly the type of OG that we need back, and that's what we need in OG Battle Royale. Take out the bots, take out the skill-based matchmaking. Cosmic Skies had this to say, main BR feels fun with the loot pool adjustments. The map quests have been really fun, and 50 vs 50 text chat is hilariously funny. I think overall it has got to be one of the best OG season launches yet, yeah. The 50 vs 50 text chat is probably the standout for me. It really is, and that's not something that we experienced back in the OG days, eh? I love the text chat. We need this in an entire lobby in every mode. Please, Epic Games, please. Steph Canos had this to say, having lots of fun, just disappointed they haven't made any changes for more accuracy or to remove bots. Also worried it might die because of how long it lasts. I think the OG pass is pretty bad, and sad that we didn't get any battle pass remakes. Gameplay wise though, it's an 8 out of 10. I know. Now, a lot of people are disappointed with the new OG skins, but we're still jumping to this mode is dying way too quickly. It's not going to die. I know it's here for a little while, but I also wouldn't like them to see make any changes for, unless you meant like, I don't know if Steph meant accuracy like for the weapons to be a little bit better, because a lot of weapons like the ARs, they're not the most accurate, but unless they meant like changing the grass, because people are still upset with the grass. That's something that, by the way, I've never really paid attention to, but it's fair. It's a fair critique. If you want to play OG Fortnite, that's not OG, okay? I do agree, as usual, to remove the bots. Let's continue on to what Hollow had to say. It's really fun, and OG actually feels playable now because they fixed so many issues with it. And the guided missile being back just makes it even better. Season 3 has been really good so far. Hope they keep that up. Nothing to add about that. I'm glad Hollow's enjoying it. I'm enjoying it as well, and I hope that you guys are enjoying it as well. Shido had this to say, this season is good, but they need to remove bots. They already did it with 50 versus 50, and I hope they do the same for regular mode. Also, why are they so inconsistent with the weapons and stuff? They changed the SCAR model from Chapter 1 to Chapter 2. That doesn't make sense. I didn't notice that. Why would they do that? I noticed they changed the tactical shotgun to have the old thing. I know that we finally, and I think that was in Season 2, we finally have the grenades looking like the grenades and not just having that blank slot. To be honest with you, it's a nice touch that the grenades were the way they were, but it is weird that they are being really inconsistent with that. But ultimately, guys, like, I really don't care. It's about the gameplay. It's about the map for me. It's about, like, viewing and walking through my OG experience. Justin had this to say, love it. Still has a lot of issues. Chapter 5 grass, AR pistol, Chapter 2 icon, pump was wrong, base damage, build damage, Chapter 6 zones, and of course, bots. It's totally fair to be upset with things. Be upset, I wouldn't go as far to say, but be disappointed with things like the Chapter 5 grass. I don't know why that's even a thing, but it also doesn't make sense to me for the icons. It's something that's so simple. Why would you not just put it in? Why are we so inconsistent with that? Doesn't make any sense. The pump base damage, yeah, that definitely needs to be fixed. The Chapter 6 zones are ridiculous. I hate that as well. I really, really do. And the bots, how many times do I have to say it? I don't like the bots either. So I am with Justin. I love it, but there are still issues with OG Fortnite, and honestly, it's the reason why I'm still enjoying the other modes more. Reload the most, then Chapter 6, then Ballistic, then probably OG Fortnite, to be honest with you. But I'm hoping that changes. I want to re-experience the seasons that I did love. And if you guys are interested, why don't you check out this reaction video that I did to the Battle Pass? I would love to have you guys over there. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care.